Hello, my dear students. I am your teacher Raymar and welcome to this new video lesson in Mathematics 9 for Quarter 1. In this video lesson, I am going to discuss about solving quadratic equations with the quadratic formula with the most essential learning competency to solve quadratic equations by factoring, by extracting the roots, completing the square, and using quadratic formula.
Specifically, at the end of this video lesson, you are expected to find the solutions of quadratic equations by using the quadratic formula. But before that, let us recall one of the previous lessons that we have by identifying the values of the coefficients of A, B, and C in each quadratic equation that I'm going to flash on your screen. Number 1. 5x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Very good. A is 5, B is negative 2, and C is negative 3. Number 2. 7x squared plus 14x minus 25 is equal to 0. Very good. A is 7, B is 14, and C is negative 25. Number 3. 2x squared minus 25x plus 3 is equal to 0. You got it right. A is 2, B is negative 25, and C is 3. Number 4. 3x squared minus 27 is equal to 0. Amazing! A is 3, B is 0, and C is negative 27. Number 5. X squared plus 5x is equal to 0. Perfect! You got it right. A is 1, B is 5, and C is equal to 0. Congratulations for a job well done, my dear student. Definitely you are now ready for our new video lesson. Again, the lesson that we are going to discuss is solving quadratic equation with the quadratic formula. Remember that we already discussed the three different methods in solving quadratic equations, namely, by factoring, by extracting the roots, and by completing the square. In this lesson, you are going to learn the fourth method, which is by the use of quadratic formula. Compared to completing the square method, the use of quadratic formula is easier and more convenient. Why? It's because in this method, you are going to memorize or familiarize the formula itself. We have x is equal to negative b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Again, you only need to memorize and familiarize the formula, where a, b, and c are the coefficients in the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, and a must not be equal to 0. In using the quadratic formula, there are 5 easy steps that we need to follow. Number 1, rewrite the equation to standard form. Number 2, determine the values of A, B, and C. Number 3, substitute the values to the formula. Number 4, simplify the result. And number 5, check your answer. To begin with, let us have the example number 1. Solve x squared plus 3x is equal to 18. Following the step number 1, rewrite the equation to standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we are going to rewrite x squared plus 3x is equal to 18 into its standard form. But how? Very good. We're going to add the additive inverse of positive 18, which is negative 18, to both sides of the equation. So we have x squared plus 3x plus negative 18 is equal to 18 plus negative 18. And the equation will become x squared plus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0, the standard form. The step number 2 is to determine the values of a, b, and c in the quadratic equation. And the values are a is equal to 1, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to negative 18. The step number 3 is to substitute the values to the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is negative b plus and minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So what we're going to do is to replace the value of a, b, and c in the quadratic formula using these given values. So that will become x equals negative of 3 plus and minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 18 all over 2 times 1. Remember that when you substitute the values to the formula, we need to enclose it with an open and close parenthesis, just like what we did in this formula. The next thing to do is you are going to perform the operations needed in the formula. So here, we need to multiply this by itself, and here, we're going to multiply this 3, negative 4 times 1 and negative 18, and here, we're going to multiply 2 times 1, and that will become x is equal to negative 3 plus and minus the square root of 9 plus 72 all over 2. Did you follow? Very good. So what is the next thing to do? Okay, we need to perform the operation inside the radical symbol. So you're going to add 9 plus 72, and that will be very good. So the equation will become x is equal to negative 3 plus and minus the square root of 81 all over 2. So from here, what is the next thing to do? Very good. We are going to perform the square root of 81. And that is very good. So we have x is equal to negative 3 plus and minus 9 all over 2.
Step number 4 is to simplify the result. So from here, what we are going to do next? Very good. We will simply separate the plus from the minus sign. So it will become x is equal to negative 3 plus 9 all over 2, and x is equal to negative 3 minus 9 all over 2. Remember what we did is we simply separate the plus sign from the minus sign. So next, what is the next thing to do? Very good. We will operate negative 3 plus 9, and here we're going to operate negative 3 minus 9, and that will become x is equal to 6 over 2, and x is equal to negative 12 over 2. So from here, it is very clear that we are going to divide the fraction 6 divided by 2 and negative 12 divided by 2. And the answers are x is equal to 3 and x is equal to negative 6. Do you follow? Very good. The last step, step number 5, is to check the values obtained against the original equation. This is very important to check whether the obtained values that you have are the correct solutions to the given quadratic equation. So let us check if x equals 3 and x equals negative 6 are the solutions of the quadratic equation x squared plus 3x equals 18. To do that, we are going to substitute the value one at a time. So let us start with the first value, which is x equals 3. So as you can see here, we substituted the value 3 to the variable x. So we have 3 squared plus 3 times 3 is equal to 18. So what we are going to do now is simply perform the operation involved. So here, multiply this by itself, and here, multiply 3 by 3. So that will become 9 plus 9 is equal to 18. And here, you are going to perform the operation 9 plus 9. And the answer will be, very good, 18 is equal to 18. So that is true. How about if the value is negative 6? So let us have substituted the value negative 6 to the variable x. What we're going to do is multiply this by itself twice and multiply 3 times negative 6. What will be the result? Very good. We have 36 minus 18 is equal to 18. And here, we are going to perform 36 minus 18. And the answer will be, very good, 18 is equal to 18. So that is true. Therefore, the solutions of x squared plus 3x equals 18 are 3 and negative 6. So that is how you're going to perform using quadratic formula in solving quadratic equations. Do you follow? Very good. To deepen your understanding, let us have another set of example. Let us solve 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0. Following the same procedure, step number 1, so you're going to rewrite the equation to standard form. Now the question is the given equation written in standard form or not? Very good. It is already written in standard form, so meaning we proceed to step number 2. Determine the values of A, B, and C. And here, the values are A is equal to b equals 8, and c equals negative 10. Step number 3, substitute the values to the quadratic formula. So using the same formula, x equals negative b plus and minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, we are going to substitute or replace those a, b, and c in the formula by the given values, and that will become x equals the negative of 8 plus and minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 10 all over 2 times 2. And then we perform the operations involved, so that formula will become x equals negative 8 plus and minus the square root of 64 plus 80 all over 4. Do you follow? Very good. From here, you are going to combine 64 and 80, and the answer will be x equals negative 8 plus and minus the square root of 144 all over 4. And here, you are going to find the square root of 144. What is the square root of 144? Very good. So that will become x equals negative 8 plus and minus 12 all over 4. Step number 4 is to simplify the result. To do this, we will separate the plus from minus sign. So this equation will become x equals negative 8 plus 12 all over 4 and x equals negative 8 minus 12 all over 4. In performing the operations involved on the numerator, so we will have x equals 4 over 4 and x equals negative 20 over 4. Dividing those numbers, the values are x equals 1 and x equals negative 5. And here, we will check the values obtained if they will satisfy the quadratic equation 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0. Let us check the first value, x equals 1. So substituting 1 to the variable x, we will have 2 times 1 squared plus 8 times 1 minus 10 is equal to 0. Performing the operation, it will become 2 plus 8 minus 10 is equal to 0. Combining those numbers, so we will have 0 is equal to 0. Next value, x equals negative 5. Substituting negative 5 to the quadratic equation, we will have 2 times negative 5 squared plus 8 times negative 5 minus 10 is equal to 0. Remember, when you multiply negative 5 by negative 5, that is positive 25. Times 2, it will be 50. Here, 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. So the equation will be 50 minus 40 minus 10 is equal to 0. Combining those numbers, 50 minus 40 minus 10, that will become 0 is equal to 0. So that is true. Therefore, the solutions of 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0 are x equals 1 and x equals negative 5. I hope that everything that you've learned in our video lesson will be applied as you answer your module in Mathematics 9. Always remember, apply the formula of a successful life. That is, to eliminate all the negative vibes and to sum up all the positive vibes. Another, success is the fruit of complex capabilities. In other words, intelligence is not enough to fulfill your dreams. It needs perseverance, hard work, and others. And always dream. Believe on your dreams and succeed. Laging tandaan na ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan. Kaya dapat kayong mag-aral ng mabuti, gawin ang mga activity ng may husay at galing. And that ends our video lesson. Always remember, pray to God and keep safe. Hanggang sa muli nating pag-aaral, bye-bye!